Welcome back to Rise and Grind, guys, the podcast where we bring your inspiring stories, thought provoking conversation, and insights from some of the most driven minds in the industries. I'm your host, Pallavi, and joining me today is my amazing co host, Kathleen.
Hi everyone. Very thrilled to kick off the episode 4 of Talkibat with our incredible guest Nitin Anand. He is the director and CEO of Wishrite Fuel, a pioneer in the demand of doorstep services regarding to fuel services, and also a distinguished member of an international council of jurists in London. With over 20 years of experience spanning businesses, planning, management, and development, Nitin is a powerhouse of expertise.
Right, exactly.
Thanks, Pallavi, and thanks, Kathleen, for the wonderful introduction. So, we can take this thing forward now.
Yeah. So, our audience can just grab a coffee, sit back, and let's see Rise and Grind, right?
Yes.
Sure.
So let's get started with our episode 4, and we hope all the youngsters who are looking forward to their dream ambitions or what business they want to start up, they should stay back and listen in.
So yeah, so we'll start with let's go back to your younger days, Nitin. Like, what were your dreams and aspirations like back then? Did you always picture yourself as someone who would lead a business, or did life take an unexpected turn that shaped this journey for you?
So, honestly speaking, I come from a middle class family, and that too, who has been serving in government jobs for their entire tenure. So for me, the main focus from the family background was that I have to pick up some job. But since my college days, I have that inspiration to become a businessman. So generally, we used to get a pocket money during those days that was too small for the expenses which we used to occur. I picked up a couple of jobs during my graduation days. I sold credit cards. I sold even motorcycles, scooters during those days in second-hand market to just earn an extra money to fulfill my wishes. So, though yes, it was an internal institution that I have to pick up a business at some point in time. But yes, after my graduation and my post-graduation, I started working in a corporate house with ICICI as a financial services advisor. And post that, I picked up another job into banking and financial services with Kotak. And for almost 8.5 years, I was in financial services industry. And then I decided to move out of the financial services industry, and I got an opportunity to work with one of the leading warehouses company, which is into post-harvest management services known as Star Agri Warehousing. And I was consultant to their managing director in terms of entire business planning and financial management, and basically doing R&D on various projects which state or central government come up with the farm produce and everything. So I used to assist him, and with them I was there for almost 10 years. But at the end of the day, the thing was I wasn't getting self-satisfaction in terms of job satisfaction.
Mm-hmm.
Though I wasn't a mainstream employee of this particular company, I was working with them as a consultant. So in 2020, during COVID, in fact, I also practiced a law with the Delhi High Court also. So, but in 2020, when the COVID struck, so I was just thinking around what should be the next step? What should we do next? So it came to my mind that during COVID, everything was being delivered at your doorstep.
Yeah,
Be
yes,
it
absolutely.
groceries, be it medicines, anything and everything was being delivered at your doorstep. So the mind stuck to me that what about fuel? So we approached Ministry of Petroleum that why aren't we allowed to deliver fuel at the doorstep? Because everything was on hold at that point in time. Nothing can't
Yeah.
move out. So We approached Ministry of Petroleum. They told that obviously you can do that, but again you need to identify the basic problem, where the problem is, and accordingly you can provide them with a solution. We can't allow you to just run around in the markets and deliver diesel or petrol for the cars.
Yeah.
So this is a very much idea which is implemented already there in US, UK, and Canada. Apart from that, in Dubai also, where there are mobile dispensing units which go and fill up your car and other assets. So that is how we actually started doing a brainstorming session. Then we identified the problem, where the actual problem is with the industries which consume diesel on a very bulk quantities, and they aren't getting a right quantity and right quality of diesel. So there was a company which my friend and I initiated. I was again not very confident how this thing would shape up, and we jointly worked together and came up with the idea of Fuel Entrepreneur, which in fact was a planned proposal from Ministry of Petroleum also. So that's how this SS Fuelant, my company, came into picture. The brand name is Fishrite Fuel. We came into picture and we started implementing this, and with God's grace, we are now serving couple of most prestigious infrastructure companies in India.
Sir, so this is not for like customer basis, right? Like people buy fuel illegally, right? We have seen people buying fuel illegally in bottles and all that in India.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If you go to into rural areas,
Yes.
I have personally visited. There are like some rural areas in Bihar, and in fact, if you have been to Goa for vacation, if you take a scooty on rent, you actually have to purchase it through a normal local grocery shop.
Yes, exactly,
that's-
sir. I am too from a small town, so I know how this comes out. Like when you
And
talk
they
about the
basically charge
problem,
premium on that retail sales
Yes.
price which you get from
a
the
normal water bottle, they fill it in a
Absolutely.
normal water bottle and then sell it to you.
market. Yes. So we are still debating with the Ministry of Petroleum that it should be allowed. Though they have allowed, in principally, they have agreed that yes, they can explore an option for CNG, but not for the petrol as of now and diesel as of now. And in fact, for business to business also, they have only permitted diesel.
Okay, like they are thinking about it, and the process will
Exactly.
take a longer time, as we have seen that this has been years. This problem has been for years in India. So yeah. So yeah, sir, like we talked about the things what like normal people faced, and you put it in a way that you built a business around it, doing everything possible for you, right? Like that's how you get idea. That's how you know the market. That's how you know the problem statement.
Exactly.
So, sir, my like next question will be like for basic students who are studying in colleges or who are just in their 11th and 12th. It is hard to see like how what they study today connects with their future career. Like people are studying bachelors in English and they are doing something very different from their what they had an education in. Like how did your education influence your advices and thinking and everything around it? And what advice would you give to the students who are struggling to find the connection between their education and what startup they have started over? Like what will
Look,
be
what
your
I believe is like education is a continuous learning.
yeah.
So I personally feel that it has to be an ongoing process. You keep upgrading yourself in terms of whatever the education or information is available there in the market. So apart from like MBA, when I was there with the financial services, I did my masters in finance also. I completed my charter holder degree also. I post that I studied law, because when you are into a business planning, there are a lot of agreements which keep on coming to you, and you actually need to analyze if something is right or wrong in those business agreements. So basis that I learned law also. So learning is a continuous process, but at end of the day, it doesn't. It is not important that whatever you have studied, it should be implemented. You can look out, because if you are living in the age of information and there is a lot of information, I'm not actually saying information. It's an information overflow age which we are living into. You actually need to analyze what information you are getting currently and how you basically make the relatable information out of it and implement that particular thing.
Yeah, education won't be a waste, but you need to decide over. Matlab you can take pointers from there, obviously.
You see, my educational qualification has nothing to do with a startup or probably entrepreneurship. But yes, these things are helping me when actually you meet people from different backgrounds and you manage different departments of your organization. So you actually need to have a basic knowledge about these different perspectives.
Yeah, networking, confidence, everything is building up with that thing.
Absolutely.
So like, as we got the pointers, students will be happier seeing this podcast, getting pointers. Like they don't, like right now I have seen in my family only, they get very much concerned about like we are studying this, if we are going to do the job in next 5 years and what will be our future. So of course this is going to help, sir.
Absolutely.
And yeah, so like as we come to, you are talking about mainly the leadership. You have got the qualities of leadership through all these processes, cycles you have been through. So sometimes like leadership can feel like a big intimidating word, right? Because when I'm pronouncing it, you know that it feels like a bit overpowering. Like, what was the first time you realized you were leading others? Like, what is something you consciously decided to do, or like you started doing it and naturally you were growing and you picked up the leadership quality into you?
For me, what I can make out of it, that leadership is a very responsible word.
Yes.
So it is, though yes, it gives you a power, but again, more than power, it's a very huge responsibility which comes with this particular tag leadership. Because then people look up to you for lot many things. So you can't be wrong when
Yes.
you are leading a team.
Yeah.
So because you have been looked upon. So it's a natural process. I have seen people saying that it is like, or you say you can learn the leadership quality, or you get it from your family, or there are lot of theories about leadership. But what I feel is that leadership is a natural process which will eventually come to you while you are growing in this particular process of building up a business. So when I actually started from the basic. So into particular my business, the commodity which we are handling, it's an essential commodity. And again, starting from the logistics to accounts to managing the blue collar people to each and everything. So you have to get involved in each and every department yourself. You need to understand from their perspective, and then probably once you understand their perspective, then you can make them comfortable and hopefully they work according to your vision and goals.
Yes.
So you have to be a part of them.
Yes. Matlab you have to be in the same circle, but you have to
Exactly.
put your point in a way that people follow
understand.
you. Yeah. Yes.
Exactly.
I think certain people associate certain skill sets to leadership, and I wanted to ask, like, what are some skills you think people should have, like from a young age? Some skills that they need to learn, which has to be honed from a young age. I know that growing up, you keep learning new things,
Exactly.
but through real life experience and certain education, what is some skill sets that students should work on, or an unconventional skill set that you have picked up over the years that has played a
So
very big
one
role?
thing is the most important thing is that you need to have a creative and visionary thinking. You actually need to think out of the box. Look, you need to understand that I'm not doing something which is very unique. So I'm not doing anything which is different from others. But yes, the thing what I am doing is it is differently from, because this particular business of selling diesel and petroleum product exists from ages. ऐसा नहीं है कि मैं आज पहली बार डीजल बेचने निकला हूँ. 50 साल पहले भी गाड़ियां चलती थी, तब भी डीजल बिकता था और इंडस्ट्रीज चलती थी, उनको तब भी रिक्वायरमेंट थी और आज भी रिक्वायरमेंट थी. The difference is the service which I am providing them. I am providing them at their doorstep.
Yes.
So you actually need to think out of the box. It is not necessary that you need to have a very unique idea which you can implement, and that cannot get copied.
Yeah. So actually
Today-
starting a business is only a big thing. Like we think ki we will do this, we are having a problem, people can create this business, but putting your mind, your everything into that is a
Exactly. So you actually need to, you can do the same line of business, but then again you need to have a USP of your own,
yeah.
and which will help you in building up that particular business. Second thing is your risk taking ability. So that is again one of the most important thing. If you can't take risks, you shouldn't get into the business. Obviously, risk doesn't mean that you only take risk. It has to be a calculative risk. So you need to have a calculative risk taking ability. Apart from that, you actually need to have those leadership qualities where you can actually lead a team, or probably being a part of a team member. For me, the leadership is not a leader. He's again a team member himself. So if his team grows, he himself grows.
Yes.
Again, a strategic planning should be a part of this skill set. You actually need to make strategies. If something goes haywire, you need to have a strategy in place. If there is plan A is not working, you need to have plan B for a backup. So that is one thing. Again, finance is one of the most important when you are building up a business. You need to basically allocate resources in such a manner that they are optimally utilized. So these are a couple of skill sets when you plan to get into an entrepreneurship. You need to have these basic things in place. And I think generation of today is very much knowledgeable to make sure that these entire things are well in place.
They're very outgoing. We have
Absolutely, I keep on meeting a lot of students from universities. I'm part of a couple of incubation centers where I mentor them in their entrepreneur journey. So sometimes they give fantastic ideas, and they have solutions to one of the couple of the most complex problems which we are facing also.
So, with all of this, including real life experience and all, and the risks that you're talking about, while taking risks, you also see failure. So, and a lot of people see failure as a very negative thing, like it's a setback. Oh, I can't do this. I have to stop doing this. So, what is an important lesson that you have learned from a failure? Something that you had planned but didn't go well, but it has made you strong.
Honestly, you need to have a problem solving skill, because it is part of life. You shouldn't get disheartened when there is a setback, but you should start again looking into the problem, gather as much information as you can on the problem which you are facing, try to find an alternative where you can actually move away from that particular problem. So setbacks are part of it. Can be a financial setback, it can be maybe any of your investors backing out, or probably your team members problem. So you need to basically analyze and assess what the actual problem is, come up with a solution or plan B. And I think it's in part of this particular entrepreneurship journey. You shouldn't get disheartened with this setbacks.
Dealing with a team is a very difficult experience, but it also very, it's a very joyful experience. A group of people that are there to support you, work for a common goal and everything.
So when they are setback, what I actually personally do, I don't overthink and overanalyze. I only analyze and rest, let it happen the way it has to. Because you can't be right always.
Yes. And since the world is now changing, we have been seeing AI and technology advancing, automation especially. What trends or shifts do you think people should look out for, especially entrepreneurs? Because our generation, anyways, as you said, some examples, they're able to figure out what exactly people need. but like going on in the future, what are some things people should definitely look out for example, sustainability?
What I feel is for sustainability, for me, obviously there'll always be. We are anyways living in the world of information, and it's what do you say? It's there are a lot of social media information travels fast, very fast these days. But what I feel is networking is one of the most important thing. The knowledge which you get first hand from these primary sources, when you meet people from different background, people from different industries, they actually open up your mind. So till date, I prefer at least to meet 2 to 3 people in a day from a different background, to probably pick up a call and just try to understand what is going on within their industry, be it into financial services, be it into my own petroleum services, be it into agri-business, be it into manufacturing, any industry you pick up, just try to feel the vibe. So it is more important. So what I feel is currently, obviously, everybody talks about that information is the key.
Yeah.
But for me, your net worth is being what your network is all about. So for me, my network is my net worth.
Yes, sir, yes. And so information, like you said, information, we have fake information also
Absolutely.
around social media. So you have to smart also to be
Exactly.
understandable and grasp the true
Absolutely.
news.
But yes, if I'm building up a business, so what I feel is, one is you should be ethical when you are building up a business.
Yeah.
Second thing is your network is your net worth.
Yes.
Though you may have lot of contacts, but businesses are built on relationship, not on contacts. So for me, building up a business, these are the most important key to success.
So I have a very slightly controversial question to ask.
Yeah.
Like I said about sustainability, right? How do you feel about it? Because usually when people hear the word sustainability, they're like, okay, let's stop petrol. We'll go completely electric. EV vehicles are now in a trend. So how do you think it might impact your business?
So you need to keep updating yourself. So I remember when I was a kid, we used to go to a normal, a sweet shop. They used to only sell samosas and basic sweets. Now they have grown up to full-fledged confectionery. They are selling pastries also. They are selling cookies also. So it is just when the market evolves, you automatically get evolved. So currently we are not only focusing on petroleum products. We are focusing on electric vehicles. We are also exploring possibility of getting into CNG and PNG. Apart from that, we are also working on dual fuel policy, which recently government came up with over a period of time. So there is another fuel which you'll be seeing in coming years, hydrogen based vehicles. Hydrogen they'll be using as a fuel. So obviously innovation is a core to business and evolving with over a time, so that will help you in sustainability.
Yes.
So there'll be a lot of new things which will be coming up, and you need to actually adapt to those particular things apart with your core line of business. My core line of business will be always doorstep delivery of petroleum product. But yes, when the new things come, it's like how fast we adapt that thing into our own system is the key.
Yes, sir. Like you told, many new things are coming and businesses should adapt as per we grow, right?
Exactly.
So how you have used, like we have seen products, we have seen companies, apps, they are adopting like AI, right? So what is your point of view over that? Like you are
I think
also
AI is the future. In fact, we have also adopted into our own vehicles.
Yes.
We are using AI into our own vehicles, who basically calculate whatever the consumption our customers are doing, basis that they forecast what will be the future consumption and which location would be requiring what amount of diesel in future. So obviously these statistics always help. Using AI and technology will always help in the growth. And with this particular thing, they help them in basically making the financial projections, financial budgets for the upcoming requirements.
This reminds me of another conversation we had about how the OGs have stayed. Like Panda Express had come in the beginning, the first,
Right.
the first
The
who
first one,
started
right.
Zomato and like how
Right.
Zomato and Swiggy. So
Right.
they rose on top because of the trends. They met people's needs, and now they became the OGs.
Exactly. Now, if you see, Swiggy is doing with the Blinkit.
Huh,
So the
yes.
revenues of Blinkit is higher than Swiggy.
Yes. When we talk about innovation, we like you said, people should have creativity. They have to think out of the box.
Right.
Lot of people face an issue regarding that. For example, they hit a roadblock. How can I overcome it? There is no way. There is that stigma in their head that there is nothing I can do to go around this problem. So, what are some creative ways that you have overcome certain problems in your life?
So
Or
when I
challenges?
get stuck up, I start meeting people from different backgrounds. So they actually give you different ideas, different solutions to a problem, and that will help you the best. So start meeting people of different backgrounds. Otherwise, you can speak to expert on that particular subject. They'll always be helpful. Probably take up mentorship from any of the institutions which are providing mentorship for the building of businesses. There are a lot of institutions, and thanks to Mr. Narendra Modi, who have been focusing on this entrepreneurship skills and building up an ecosystem where he is supporting a lot of startup under Startup India program, and the mentors are there available in various incubation centers and various universities which are there to help these people. So it is always better to seek advice when you don't have a solution to a problem within yourself, and there is no harm in seeking advice.
This is a very interesting outlook, and basically, you have said that when you hit a roadblock, look at it from a different perspective.
Yeah,
Go further.
honestly, matlab, always entrepreneurship was my passion, and during my journey in corporate, I had as an investor, I had invested into a couple of startups during that time, and honestly, I didn't had a little idea like how this game is and how the businesses are built. So one fine day, when there was a COVID, it came to my mind about this particular concept, and then I thought of like getting off from my comfort zone, and then started working on it. So you building up a business is not that easy. So you actually need to
Yeah.
get out of your comfort zone with having a lot of sleepless nights, and with all this you actually
Yeah,
get
few of
into
the pointers are very nice, like getting out of the comfort zone, seeking advice. People don't seek advice because
Yeah,
they
absolutely.
think
I
they
have
will
seen,
lose.
yeah, I
Yeah,
have
they
seen
will
a lot
lose
of
more.
brilliant minds who
Yes.
are stuck up with a problem, but they think that they can solve it themselves.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
look, वो कहते हैं ना कि मतलब it is not possible every time that you get a solution to
Yes,
a problem
exactly.
yourself.
Mhm.
So I still go and meet people, seek advice when I stuck up with any particular problem. And the best thing is go and meet people from different industries.
Mhm.
The reason why I'm telling you, because if you meet person from your own industry, you have a thinking alike. So you
Yeah,
come
you
with the
don't
same
think
set
out
of
of the
answer
box.
which you already know.
Yeah, yeah,
Person from a different expertise or different background will give you something new
yes,
to
yes.
analyze.
So we need to have like 360 degree का view होना चाहिए
Absolutely,
सबके
360
पास to
degree view
get
is the most
everything.
important when you are building
Yes.
up a business.
I think there's another stigma for people who are starting their business. I have seen, at least with my friend group or close people, they are like, they say that I don't want to do 9 to 5, so I'll start a business instead because that is easier for them. That I've noticed that a lot, and I think people are not realizing that it's as difficult as work.
It is more difficult. It's 365 days,
Yes.
24/7 job.
सब आसानी से खड़े हो जा रहे हैं.
So when initially we were talking, I talk about like risk-taking ability.
Yes.
So it was a very challenging question for me and my family when I thought of like quitting my well-paid consultancy services and getting into my own business. So we had a lot of debates at my home that whether I should pick it up or not. So then again, it's always risk versus reward ratio.
Yeah, calculative risk.
It has to be a calculated risk. So it took me almost 3 years to come where I am right now. We started with a single mobile dispensing unit, and currently we own a fleet of 15 mobile dispensing units. So I'm proud to say that yes, I'm a trucker. I don't mind in saying that I'm a trucker.
Hardships, a lot of things you have faced, and you've made it.
So in fact, today also sometime just to do a random check on my ground staff, I go along with my ground staff to deliver diesel myself.
To see how you're doing.
Because the product which we are dealing is essential commodity, and there are a lot of protocols which we have to follow because it's highly inflammable product. So I actually need to go onto the ground and see whether the protocols are being followed or not. A single mistake can cause a huge disruption.
Yes, definitely, sir.
It was a very insightful conversation. A lot of things we have come to know, especially regarding entrepreneurship. And I know for a fact that whoever sees this recording or clip, they'll be inspired and hopefully pushed to do more and not just held back by their mindset or whatever.
When you were talking about that particular thing,
Mindset.
That mindset, that 9 to 5 job and taking up entrepreneurship. So I remember a very beautiful quote. I read it somewhere. It's in Hindi. तो वो कहते हैं कि आपको मतलब यूं ही नहीं मिलता शोहरत का जाम. यूं ही नहीं मिलता शोहरत का जाम. काबिले तारीफ होने के लिए वाकिफे तकलीफ होना पड़ता है.
Yes.
So you actually need to slog to have that respect and status in the business.
Yes, definitely.
So we'll wrap up with one last question regarding AI, because that is now the trending topic.
Absolutely.
Every company has AI related. So have you used any AI products that has enhanced your growth?
Look, I'm not a technology guy, so that has been taken care by my other department. But yes, we are very, very much into technology. We keep on doing a lot of R&D because look, the product which we are selling has to be in terms of quantity and quality to be assured to the customer along with the seamless services. So our all mobile dispensing units are working on AI, where the customer gets an access to each and every information, whether it is past or future projections in terms of his financial plans and his requirement in terms of this particular product. Yes, we are very, and yes, our team continuously visit a lot of conferences which are into technology, and they come up with a lot of new things. Currently, we are also working with a product which is called a storage tank, which will be completely AI driven.
Okay.
Which will be completely AI driven. So the problem of theft, pilferage, everything will be taken care of with that AI app.
That is very
So
interesting.
in fact, that would be up to that extent that no other asset, you actually can fill the specified assets with that particular storage tank. So no unauthorized asset can get the diesel filled into
Access.
excess.
So have you heard of Document?
Yes.
How do you feel about the product?
The document is a game changer, and in terms of if you need to elevate your business level, you actually need to speak to the document team, and I believe they are very super efficient. They don't sleep. They don't ask for a coffee break, though I always prefer coffee breaks during my 24/7 work, and interaction with them is like very seamless. They understand your requirement and help you in efficiently building up your business. And the most important is you can actually trust them.
Definitely. Security is a very big concern.
Security is the most important thing. So the most important thing for me in business is your ethics. And yes, they are very ethical in their business dealing. What they say, they deliver.
So I like we had a great conversation with you. Like this was really very great, very insightful for us.
Likewise, yeah.
So thank you for joining.
Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Pallavi.
Thank you.
Hope we'll see you on another podcast
Yeah.
episode.
Sure,
Be in
sure.
touch.